Final race of the weekend about to get underway here at Monza for the 2020 Euroformula Open Season, round number 4. My name's Chris McCarthy. Thank you very much for tuning in. 2 good races so far. I'm sure the third is going to be a cracker as well. Cars are just getting themselves ready on the grid, as you can see. Temperature still pretty mild here in Italy. And 2 good races, as I said, so far. Let's see how we get on with this one. Well, once again, qualifying 3 took place earlier on this morning. So for race 1 and 2, the qualifying sessions took part yesterday. We were out this morning for qualifying first thing as well. And it was Yi once again who took pole position. But it was a very close qualifying session. Just 3 tenths between the top 6. Which would suggest, like we've seen so far in races 1 and 2, that we could have big battles between the lead groups. So here is the driver that's going to start from pole position. Yi starts at the head of the field. He finished first and second so far this weekend. His journey to second, though, in race 2 was a little bit eventful. Alongside him is going to be Nicolas Cruton now. Nicolas Cruton has been brilliant at overtaking. In both races, he's either been towards the back or dropped back, and he's worked his way forward, and that has given him 2 third places so far. If he can get at the front, then there's every chance that he can go and take it. But the man who won race number 2, Lucas Dunner, 2 all between the battle between him and Yi. He's already up to about 3rd in the championship as well, is Lucas Dunner. Let's see what he can do from 3rd. Starting alongside him, a driver that could really do with some good luck, because he's done well in qualifying, he's had great pace, but he's either been lapped or had a DNF, Sebastian Essner, so he really needs, just for his own sake, a good result in this one, for his confidence more than anything else. Manuel Maldonado, he will want to forget about the race earlier very, very quickly. He was tagged into a spin by Alexandre Bardignon. We're not going to be able to see him, but he's in there somewhere. Manuel Maldonado didn't finish earlier because of that. So a bit of a disappointing start to the day, but he did good yesterday. So let's see what he can do. A good qualifying for him. Andreas Essner led the race for a while earlier on. He's had some really good pace this weekend, has Andreas. Sadly, it went all wrong for him in the latter stages of the race. He finished 6th yesterday and 9th earlier on. Ayrton Simmons is then next along. His trend of finishing 7th or 6th continues, and guess where he's qualified? 7th place. Andreas Essner just needs a bit of a break, but he did some good overtaking earlier, as did this man here. Cameron Diaz has shown some real good signs this weekend. Not the best of luck going his way for Cameron Diaz, but he finished 5th in the first race, took the fastest lap, and a 5th earlier as well. Hard Charger should be the new nickname for this man, Zay Maloney. He started dead last in both races. Earlier, he finished 4th all the way from the back of the field, did Zay Maloney. 8th in the first race, only due to a penalty. Ido Cohen, not a good weekend at all for him so far. 11th in the first race, and he went off at Curva Grande earlier, having to retire from the race. Starting alongside him, the man who got his best result of the season earlier, Rui Andrade, finished in 6th place. His best result so far. A brilliant performance from Rui Andrade. So he's going to be flying with confidence, I'm sure, coming into this race. Alexandre Bardignon, another person who won't want to remember that race from earlier. And so far this weekend, it's just been a torrid weekend. The man who starts alongside him, though, we have Glenn Van Berlo. Glenn Van Berlo, a great job for him so far this weekend. He was tagged earlier, though, and this is Alexandre Bardignon, who I was just talking about. He and Van Berlo having swapped places on the grid. So Bardignon, disappointing race for him earlier. But Glenn Van Berlo, he's finished in the points every race so far this season. 9th and 8th so far for him this weekend. Well, there you can see the cars getting ready to go. Mechanics starting to clear the grid. Very shortly, we're going to be getting underway for the 3rd and final race this weekend in the Euroformula Open. Unsurprisingly, it's just all been about slipstreaming around here. Tactics have been a huge part of the racing so far. Being in the right place at the right time, making the moves at the right time when you making them stick as well. We've seen drivers unsuccessfully try moves, but then we've seen some real good ones as well. one that sticks out to me was the block pass from Maldonado into the second chicane. That was a good one on Cameron Taz. Well, let's look back at the race earlier then as we got underway down towards the first corner. This was the race. This was Yiffy Yi leading us through the first corner. A little bit of contact further back. This was Lucas Dunner fighting away for second place. That was Cameron Daz going through. Cameron Daz and Lucas Dunner continued to fight, but race number one, as you can see, it was Yiffy Yi who took the top step of the podium. So Yiffy Yi, that was yesterday, he would win, but earlier today he would start from third place and Lucas Dunner would be the driver to lead us away from pole position. Andreas Essner, you would have saw, absolutely flew off the line, and immediately he's in the middle of your picture there. Andreas Essner would make his way through into second place to slot in behind Lucas Dunner. Locking up there was Yiffy Yi. This is Zane Maloney, he started down in 13th. That was the moment Bardignon flew into the side of Maldonado. That brought out the safety car. When we got going again, Andreas Essner would lead us. That was the moment Sebastian Essner made contact with Yiffy Yi, but across the line, Lucas Dunner would take the win in race number 2. Yiffy Yi getting ready to go, and we're about ready to get started in this race as well. There, Nicholas Cruton looking down towards turn number 1. All about the launch. When he did start on the front row in race 1, got a bad start, so he'll just be thinking about that launch off the line. There is Lucas Dunner. He's going to be starting from row number 2. He went from 7th to 3rd in the first race, and from pole position held on to it for the first few corners. He starts from row number 2. Sebastian Essner alongside him needs a good result here. We're almost ready to go for this one. Hope you're excited at home. It's going to be a great race, I'm sure. Yiffy Yi is going to be the man on pole position. Nicholas Cruton will start alongside. Lucas Dunner will be directly behind his teammate. Sebastian Essner starts alongside him on row number 2. Moving outside the top 2 rows, Manuel Maldonado will be on row number 3. A good and bad race for him so far this weekend. Andreas Essner, likewise, he starts from 6th. Ayrton Simmons starts from 7th place, with Cameron Daz in 8th place. Then we have Zane Maloney, definitely the one to watch in this race, from 9th. Ido Cohen starts alongside him in 10th place. We'll hope for some better fortunes. Ruby Andrade, coming off the back of his best finish, will be 11th. Glenn Van Berlo has yet to finish outside the top 10. So we'll be sure, I'm sure, to move forward from 12th place. And then Alexandra Bardignon starts from the back of the field in 13th place. Cars are ready to go. Any second now, they will be launched from the field, and we will have our formation lap before we get ready to go racing for the final time this weekend at Monza. There, another look at your pole sitter, Yiffy Yi. Board goes up, engines fired up, mechanics leave the grid. Drivers about to go off for their formation lap here at Monza. There is the mechanic leaving the grid now. The drivers now with their own thoughts, looking down towards turn number 1. They're just going to be going through that start in their heads. One sighting lap, one formation lap to get the tyres up to temperature, and then it's all about that start. As we said, Nicholas Cruton, when he did start here in race 1, dropped back to 7th, so he can really be punished for a bad start here with that long run down to the first chicane. Podium in the background. Who are the 3 drivers that are going to be standing on it in around 35 minutes time? Time will tell as we get ready to go off for the formation lap. Green flag waves, and they will go off for the formation lap. Let's hope they all get away safely. Yes, so we're all off our way. Right then. Third and final race. Yiffy Yi and Lucas Dunner remain the only 2 drivers as race winners this season. Can anyone beat them? The number 4 there, Nicholas Cruton, will be one hoping to do that. Sebastian Essner, likewise. We've got Andreas and Manuel Maldonado on row 3. They're 2 drivers that could definitely play a part in this. Been a brilliant weekend of racing so far in terms of the championship for these guys. If you've been enjoying the racing so far, you only have to wait a few days before you see them out again. They're going to be at Mugello next weekend, Spa-Francorchamps a couple of weeks after that, in Barcelona the end of November at the Jarama circuit in Spain. So plenty of rounds still to go. One of the other rounds is going to have an extended timetable as well, like this one. 3 races to make up for the round that was due to COVID-19 had to be cancelled. But still just as many races as we were supposed to have before all of this started, which is great work by the organising team. And the drivers have made all that hard work pay off, because the racing's been absolutely fantastic this weekend. It's what everyone's been talking about. And I can tell you there'll be plenty of people working in other championships now making their way over to get ready to watch the start of this one. Yiffy, he's going to be on pole position. Nicholas Cruton alongside. It's all about that launch off the line. If Nicholas Cruton can get a good launch, then he will definitely be in a position to challenge Yiffy down into turn 1, whether that be on the inside or the outside. Lucas Dunner, he's proved twice so far this weekend just how good he can be at the start of a race. Sebastian Essner in 4th, Maldonado 5th, Andreas Essner in 6th, Ayrton Simmons 7th place. See if he can move forward from there. Cars coming around the Parabolica. We're almost getting ready to go racing for the final time this weekend. Round number 4 of the Euroformula Open. This race number 3. Drivers just making their way up towards the start-finish line. We'll grid up, and then after that, the lights will begin to come on, and we will go racing for the 3rd and final time here at Monza. Leaders now making their way up towards the front of the grid. Just some burnouts being done, getting the tyres up to temperature. There you can see Yiffy in shot. He will pull into his grid slot now. And all thoughts with himself as he gets ready for the rest of the field to do the same. So Yi and Cruton are your front row. Dunner and Essner, row 2. Manuel Maldonado and Andreas Essner, row 3. Then it's Simmons and Daz, Maloney and Cohen, and Gerard Van Berlo, Bardignon rounds out the field. Lights will start to come on very shortly. Green flag waves. Here come the lights now going on at the top of your screen. To the right of screen is Yiffy. To the left is Nicholas Cruton. They're off away and racing for the 3rd and final time this weekend, and it wasn't a good start from Nicholas Cruton. Sebastian Essner has already gone past him. Nicholas Cruton dropping down the field. To the right of screen, Lucas Dunner trying to go down the outside of his teammate Yiffy as they go in towards the first chicane, and Yi defends it well. Dunner in 2nd place. 3rd place looks to be Essner now as they make their way round the first chicane. Cruton has dropped back a few positions there. We're on board with Zane Maloney, who started down in 9th place, trying to make some positions early doors here. 17 laps of racing ahead of us as they go around Curva Grande for the first time and down towards the 2nd chicane. You can see Yi defending from Dunner. They're almost 3 wide in the background. I think that's Cruton going back into 3rd place, so trying to get those positions back is Nicholas Cruton. Ido Cohen's gone across the 2nd chicane, rejoins, and he's going to drop all the way to the back of the field. So a difficult start for Ido Cohen. But out front, it is Yiffy from Lucas Dunner. Then it's Nicholas Cruton in 3rd place. Behind that is Essner in 4th. Sebastian Essner, that is. Andreas in 5th. Maldonado 6th, Maloney 7th, then Daz, Simmons, Andrade rounding out your top 10. I can see Maloney trying to make a place on Maldonado, but the 2 Crypto Tower Racing teammates already escaping out front as they come out of Ascari and down towards Parabolica for the first time. Brilliant stuff here. Yiffy, though, hasn't broken the toe as much as he's got a good start. Lucas Dunner right there with him to the left of screen. Cameron Daz is the man on the inside now of Zane Maloney. Also trying to get involved in that is Ayrton Simmons as Cameron Daz goes down the inside there of Maloney. Maldonado ahead of him runs wide, so Taz is going to be 2 for the price of 1 there as he goes down the inside of Maldonado, going on to the start-finish straight, and that is going to be Cameron Daz up into 6th place, for 7th place, potentially 6th, but Maloney goes off the track and retakes that place back. Not sure if he's going to get away with that one. He might have to give that place back as someone going straight on there. I think that might have been Sebastian Essner who's gone straight on. Maybe even Manuel Maldonado, but this is the second half of the field, all fighting away with each other as rejoin the track there. That looks like it was Maldonado. Now, Essner, sorry, Sebastian in the number 15 slotting back in, so he's lost a few places there. Top 4 escaping now from the rest of the field. Andreas Essner is at the back of it. Maloney side by side here with Simmons. Simmons on the outside, getting squeezed there. Simmons might lose another place on the exit. Here's a replay of Zane Maloney trying to go around the outside. This was up towards Ascari, late on the brakes, and that was always gone off the runoff there. And Maloney, I think that was the moment he got past Cameron Daz. Daz retaking the place back just a little bit later. Down towards Ascari, then it's Yi, Dunner, Cruton, and Andreas Essner. Round Ascari we go, and Cruton and Andreas Essner keeping these guys honest, aren't they? 4 for the lead, and all very evenly matched. In the background, Maloney is trying to get his head down. He did that move around the outside at Ascari, and then another move going into Parabolica as well. Round Parabolica we go. We pick up Nicolas Cruton there in 3rd place. Down the start-finish line they head. Yi leading Dunner. Dunner, this perhaps the closest he has been since the start of the race, though. Could be close enough for a lunge down the inside, and Yi is wise to it. He's going to defend. Lucas Dunner moves to the outside. Is Lucas Dunner going to be able to pick up and move? Round the outside he goes. Can he get the car stopped in time? Oh, be careful, guys, and just about avoids contact. But now Lucas Dunner could be vulnerable here from Nicolas Cruton, sat in 3rd place as they now make their way around Curva Grande. Good driving from both in the end to avoid contact, but the first move, that's the Double R Racing team with Ayrton Simmons, his dad there, just sat in picture watching on. Through the second chicane, Simmons in 6th place so far, right on the back of Zane Maloney. So they became quite friendly with each other in the first race of the weekend. It looks like they're going to continue that friendship here in race number 3 as they go in towards Lesmo 2. Andreas Essner at the back of this lead quartet now as we go down towards Ascari. Here's Maloney in the background, sat in 5th place. Simmons in 6th, Maldonado in 7th, Sebastian Essner in 8th, Cameron Daz in 9th, Rui Andrade in 10th. The whole field still circulating and circulating all together. Now, we do have a couple of cars under investigation. The start under investigation for Essner. He did get a good launch, we talked about that. And also, Zane Maloney's under investigation. Now, we saw that move around the outside, and the replay suggests, I'm assuming that might be what he's under investigation for. But also, he went all 4 wheels over the white line down the start-finish straight, didn't he? So, potentially a penalty coming the way of Maloney. But until that happens, we won't say no more. He leading Simmons in the battle for 5th. This your battle for the lead, 4 in it. You could call it 2 groups of 2, but with Dunner and Yi battling as they are. And there you go, look, 2 by 2. That's Cruton behind these guys having to defend from Andreas Essner. Andreas Essner doesn't look too keen to get by. Oh, that's Cameron Daz diving down the inside there of Essner. Is he going to be able to get through on the exit? No, this is your battle for 8th place we're picking up. Battle for 5th just ahead of it. Behind these guys is Rui Andrade in the number 99. Cameron Daz there behind Sebastian Essner around Curva Grande. Yiffier defending out front here from Dunner, Cruton and Andreas Essner in that order. Simmons has got by Maloney, by the way. But Maloney's got him straight back, clearly, because Maloney is the one leading these guys down towards Lesmo 1. Yes, he is. So Maloney straight back through then. So briefly through under braking, I'm assuming there was Simmons as they went round Curva Grande and in towards the braking zone. So this 3-way battle contains Maloney, Maldonado, Daz, but this on screen is your 4-way battle for the race lead as they now come in towards the Ascari chicane. Yiffier, Lucas Dunner, Nicolas Cruton and Andreas Essner in that order Out of the chicane now and down towards the final corner we go. Maloney in the top of your picture there with Simmons and Maldonado trailing. Maldonado fastest on track. We've completed 3 laps so far, and Lucas Dunner there just making his presence known to Yifei. Not able to make a move, but all you can see, Yifei ever so slightly wide, wasn't he, through the final corner, so had an impact, did that from Dunner, and now this is the closest he has been as he comes down the start-finish straight. He's already alongside, and Lucas Dunner might be able to get this move done before we get to the braking zone. Is this Lucas Dunner taking the race lead away from his teammate? He's had 1 attempt into here. This is second. Will this one go better? Yes, it will. So Lucas Dunner is through. Good racing, and Dunner is through into the race lead ahead of Yifei. Yifei now has Nicolas Cruton crawling all over the back of him as they come round Curva Grande and down towards the second chicane. Yifei trying to fight back on Dunner, though. They're going to be side by side. Yi to the left of picture, Dunner to the right of picture, and Yifei is back through. So Yi back through. Dunner drops down to second place. Cruton remains in third. Andreas Essner hasn't had an impact on this battle yet. He in fourth place as they come round Lesmo 1. Now down towards Lesmo 2. Brilliant racing. This, I did tell you, it's going to be lots of slipstreaming. I'm sure you weren't surprised when I said that, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Down towards the Ascari chicane now. So Yifei, basically what that tells us is if you lose the lead at the first chicane, it doesn't really matter. So Dunner may want to wait next time and try a move into the second chicane. All things I can guarantee you will be going through his mind at this stage. They may be driving these single-seater race cars at 250 kilometers an hour down the straight, but they will be thinking of this, no doubt, as we hit the brakes now for Parabolica. Through the long right-hander we go. Lucas Dunner just running a little bit wide there as they now come down the start-finish straight. Nicolas Cruton right with them in third, just dropping back slightly is Andreas Essner, so made a mistake somewhere, but here comes Dunner. He's got a good run, and you can see almost out of shot there goes Yifei to the right-hand side of screen now. That is Lucas Dunner. Is he going to be able to take the race lead? Almost a repeat of what we saw last time, but Yifei holding him off that time. The side out of the corner, but Cameron Daz in the white and second chicane, not able to get through though. Quite get the run that Yifei would have got. Look at this on board as well, despite Lucas Dunner being wrong.
It's been brilliant so far. I've been taking a lot of notes. Some great.
The final corner we go. Cruton and Essner in that order. There is down towards the first chicane we go. Lucas Dunner here. Cruton very close now. He's going to dive to the inside. Lucas Dunner locking up the brakes. Oh, get it stopped in time. Yes, just about. So Lucas Dunner in a little bit of trouble. That's Maloney and Simmons side by side. Simmons having to run just a little bit wide, and that was Simmons trying to go on the attack for fifth. He's just done a fastest lap as well there, Elliot, so went for it but didn't quite get through.
Yeah, I think we can tell that these are the tyres they used in earlier races or sessions as well, because cars are getting a bit slidey out the corners as we go back to the lead battle. The front 4 cars are together now. When Lucas Dunner came a little wide out Parabolica on the last lap, that helped bring Cruton and Essner back closer to the front 2. So any of these 4 cars could be in the lead this time around next lap.
Unsurprisingly, Zane Maloney is the biggest mover in the field, just like he has been in both races so far, pretty much. Zane Maloney, 4 places gained for him. He in 5th place, and there he is. If only, that's where he's going to be thinking. That's the Carlin team. If only he'd qualified better with the pace he's had. There's no reason why he wouldn't be in this fight here. He certainly has the pace to be here, but when you're in a fight behind a lead group, it's hard to catch a lead group, isn't it? Because it's impossible to work with other people when you're fighting in a championship like this.
Yeah, you have to try and work with people to basically get further up the road. But also someone like Zane Maloney doesn't actually have a slipstream to be towed along by. So he's kind of on his own and has a harder job. And it'll be the cars behind closing back in on him. Got another warning flag for track limits, turn 11, cars 6 and 15. That's Ido Cohen at the back with Sebastian Essner in 8th place as they cross the line for the 7th lap of 17. Yifei set personal best. Lucas Dunner fastest lap, so he's going to be a lot closer to Yifei this time round.
And here comes Andreas Essner. He's going to go past Nicolas Cruton. That's exactly how you would work together. Just let each other go by. I mean, that wasn't Nicolas Cruton letting him go by. That was Andreas Essner just driving by. Oh, Cameron Daz here in the middle of our picture. He's in a fight for 9th place. Behind he's got the likes of Glenn Van Berlo and Rui Andrade as well. I think he might have just passed Manuel Maldonado there, so that would be a change for 8th place. We're side by side for 3rd place though. Andreas Essner trying to get past Nicolas Cruton, can't quite get through as they now make their way down towards Lesmo 1. Yifei with Lucas Dunner in just behind Nicolas Cruton, about a second behind that. So it has officially become 2 groups of 2 at the front. We're on lap number 8 of 17 in this race as they make their way down towards Ascari.
And Zane Maloney's repeated track limits offences has now resulted in a 2-second time penalty. So that would currently drop him 2 spots down to 7th place. He's currently in 5th. Pretty much all alone as we see the lead cars. There's Maloney coming into the centre of frame with Ayrton Simmons, the closest driver, behind him. And we can pretty much see the whole grid down one straight. There's only 11 seconds covering the 13 drivers there.
Well, no surprise. It was for those of you who don't remember, it was coming down the start-finish straight, he went all 4 wheels off the white line on the inside and made a place in the process. If you do that, you need to have a reason, i.e. avoiding action. And there is confirmation. So if he crossed the line now, he would finish the race in 8th place, even though he is 5th on track. So that's the damage it's done. Here's Glenn Van Berlo fighting with Rui Maldonado. They have just swapped places. They're going to swap straight back. Maldonado having a torrid race, isn't he? He's having an absolute terrible day. The race early was not his fault, but just hasn't got the pace in this one. It's Glenn Van Berlo. Oh, wow. Glenn Van Berlo just about managed to avoid the incident there. Bit of a strange one that. Glenn Van Berlo went to turn in and then felt the room wasn't there, so backed out of it. Kind of an avoiding action thing there from Glenn Van Berlo as we head back to our leaders who have kind of taken a half-time break. Let's see what happens in the second half and why they are at half-time. Here we look at our battle for 5th place, which is being led by Maloney on track, but effectively it's being led by that man there, Simmons, who looks on track to finally break that trend of finishing in 6th or 7th, and he's on track to have his best result of the season with a 5th place finish. Ayrton Simmons, all he's got to do really is this is the moment he could work with Maloney, but I wouldn't know if he'd actually know he has got knowledge of that or not. Now the start for car 15 will be investigated after the race. So that was Sebastian Essner, who we did say got a really good launch from row 2. So we'll have that investigated after the race. And it's things like that why all results are provisional every time that we do finish a race. We've also got a warning for Glenn Van Berlo as well. But here are your 2 leaders who are beginning to break away. As I say that, though, they might just about to be swapped places because Lucas Dunner in the tow. He's going to pull to the outside of Yifei. Are we going to see another change between these 2 in the fight for the lead? Oh, no, Yifei's locked up and he's going to go straight on. And that's now going to be the lead, surely, for Lucas Dunner. Surely he's going to have to let him back through. I mean, he might lose 3 places here as in the background, that's Maldonado defending from Andrade, but we wait to see where Yifei is going to emerge out of all of this.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cruton might have overtaken him because Cruton had set the fastest lap previous time round. That's definitely Lucas Dunner in lead. Yifei just in second. No, that is Nicolas Cruton, who has taken second place off Yifei on the entry to the second chicane. So it's going to Lesmos, it goes Dunner, Cruton, Ye and Andreas Essner. This is kind of turning into race 2 now, where Dunner, as soon as he had a break, he could get away, and it was the 3 cars behind that kept squabbling over position.
Yeah, Nicolas Cruton up into 2nd place. Yifei in 3rd, Andreas Essner in 4th as they make their way downhill. But this is it, Lucas Dunner's got the break now, hasn't he? This could be race over in terms of the lead.
Yeah, it's gone from 0.2 seconds between Ye and Dunner to 1.6 between Dunner and Cruton. And Cruton and Ye are faster than Dunner on peak race pace, so they may be able to close the gap if they work together, but we haven't seen that so far this weekend.
Nicolas Cruton, you can see him. He has just set the fastest lap, by the way. So Nicolas Cruton can be the fastest on track, but without a tow, is that going to be possible? So this is the replay, Elliot.
Yeah, he just locks, well, front and rear brakes, it does look like, and skates through the bollards. Does he hit any? No, cleverly avoids them all. And I think he would have come out of that corner still ahead of Cruton, and Cruton just got the run on him going through to the next chicane.
Down towards the first corner, no defending having to be done here by Nicolas Cruton. So He's been given an opportunity now to potentially go on. Oh, that's Glenn Van Berlo in the background going on the inside of Rui Andrade. Glenn Van Berlo's going to lock up, but just about stops the car in time. Good move there. Glenn Van Berlo goes through. Oh, almost some contact there between Bardignon and Andrade. So that's a change for 10th place there. Van Berlo back into the points. Basically where he's been every race. Oh, this is Simmons now defending. This could be your battle for 5th place. As long as Maloney doesn't get a 2-second gap, they've got to be careful of that. If that happens, then Maloney will hold that 5th. So for him now, I think once a driver gets that kind of motivation, that is when they push harder than ever before.
And that is a replay of the number 9. That's Rui Andrade cutting through the 2nd chicane. So no damage done there. I imagine we're going to go back to leaders. That is Lucas Dunner leading Niklas Cruton. It looks like Cruton's got closer in the first 2 sectors. He's taken out half a second out of the leader in the first 2 sectors. So it's now 1.1 seconds. Another warning flag for track limits, car 25. That is Bardignon, who we aren't seeing in the picture at the moment, are we? Yeah, we are.
This is closing down, isn't it? As you said, you can see what half a second has done now, and very wide there, Lucas Dunner out of the final corner. You've got to be careful as well. I mean, as well as track limits, I don't really think it makes you go any quicker. So Lucas Dunner, got to be careful. Niklas Cruton closing in, but Yiffy is about to go on the attack. There is Niklas Cruton going defensive, and I tell you what, Yiffy looked to me like he backed out there. I think he lifted off the throttle to...
Yeah, there's a huge lock-up from Esner behind Simmons, just avoids his rear end and goes through the runoff. Surprising amount of times we have seen lock-ups today, and there's been no incidents. And there's Rui Andrade going quite slowly through the first chicane, which is going to enable Alexander Bardignon to get back through. I think Andrade had overtaken him on the run to turn 1.
Yeah.
As we go back to the lead battle, Dunner, Cruton, Ye and Esner. Esner's dropped off a little bit from these top 3 now.
It's been slowly happening, I'd say, since about lap 5 or so. It's just slowly happened a little bit each lap, but I don't remember actually ever really calling Andreas Esner having a big impact, i.e., making a lunge down the outside. There was times where he was briefly side by side with Cruton, but hasn't really made a big impact on this battle. Now, through the first sector, Cruton was 0.2 quicker than Dunner, and through the second, he was only 0.003 slower, so he's still closing the gap overall. 1 second it sits at as they make their way now down towards the Parabolica there. We've got Dunner looking in his mirrors, Cruton closing in. Yi does not look like he is in the immediate mood to go past. I think he is attempting to work with him here. That's what it seems like.
And Zane Maloney's got another track limits warning. That could lead to a 2nd penalty.
You've got to be careful, isn't he?
Because
he's almost building up the gap. Look, he's got the gap. Well, he's half a second now, but he had a chance to try and build that gap to limit the amount of positions he's going to lose. Even if it's not over Ayrton Simmons, he could do that and just lose 1 place.
Yeah, and a very strong final sector there from Lucas Dunner brought his lead back up to 1.144 seconds. The others closing in. There's a lock-up, and further behind, Glenn Van Berlo is fighting with, looks like Manuel Maldonado for position for 9th place as they actually get to the corner. That's Bardignon, Rui Andrade, and Ido Cohen.
I think Maldonado was the one who, it was either him or Esner who locked up, wasn't it? Going
well, Maldonado was fighting with Van Berlo about 4 seconds behind.
Right, so
we did see a big cloud of smoke kind of in front of them.
That was Esner, wasn't it?
Oh, and they touched wheels.
Wow. Careful as they make their way.
That
That's
like
a puncture.
damage.
That's a puncture, isn't it? Immediate puncture for Rui Andrade, and sadly,
a broken front wing.
That's race over, isn't it? What a shame. He'd been on a run of points finishes. I think it got up to about 6 points finishes in a row. And sadly, that run is going to come to an end with the ever so slightest of contact. And that's what it can do to you.
Yeah, I think his front wing's scraping against the track as well. It's making that awful noise we could just about hear there. Lucas Dunner's lead has come down slightly again, but yeah, he's not getting close enough to make a move on Cruton. If he wants to move ahead.
I still don't think he wants to. I don't know. I think he's trying to work together.
There's only 5 laps to go, and I haven't seen much working so far. They've closed down the gap by 1/10 over 3 laps.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, that tells a completely different story then, doesn't it? Well, it's maybe. I think we're mentioning Dunner and here it is. Talk us through the replay.
So going side by side, it's tiniest bit of contact. Does he actually make? Yeah, it makes contact with the front wing end plate, I think, and that pushes the end plate into the tyre, which causes a laceration on the tyre.
And this
is at Ascari, so yeah, the tyre completely delaminates once.
And he's pulled over.
The front wing's cut through.
Right, so what a shame.
Has he pulled over though? Is it on an escape road?
And that's a puncture for the other car that was involved.
Yeah.
Is that Esna?
Oh, you can hear that.
No, yes, it's the number 25, isn't it?
And he's made it back to the pits, so Bardignon has recovered that. Wherever Rui Andrade's lost in the final sector, potentially on an escape road down the straights Parabolica. So he might be out of the way. I haven't seen any yellow flags at the moment, as Cruton has closed in on Lucas Dunner by 2/10 second. Yiffier faster behind as well, but there's no overtaking at the moment. It doesn't look like Ye's going to be close enough to do anything down on the run to Ascari either.
Look, I think this race is far from over. Cruton is showing some good pace here. Yi is either being patient or just can't match him. Well, we can match him, but just can't beat him in terms of pace. There's Andreas Esner.
And Simmons has just passed Zane Maloney as well in the second sector. So that is for fifth place on track. Maloney's under pressure from Cameron Dass, who's only a 10th behind. And Bardignon's already exited the pits. He's about 20 seconds on track in front of our lead pack, so I don't think he's going to get in the way.
Here we go. We're about to go into the final 3 laps of this race. Who's going to make it to the line first? Under a second, so it's coming down. It might be coming down slowly. There's Bardignon. And
I think that's a replay, because we have already seen him exit the pits.
Oh, okay. Right, this is the move. Simmons down the inside into the second chicane. Very nice move from Ayrton Simmons, and this is the onboard view. There he goes, and gives Malone no option but to stay behind. Good racing.
And Yiffier has just set the fastest first sector of anyone. He must be right on Nicolas Cruton's rear right now when we return to the live images, because there was only 2/10 between them, and he was 2/10 faster through that first sector.
And that was Daz going past Zane Maloney, by the way, that replay. So good driving that from Cameron Daz as we now make our way down towards the sky. These guys are just so evenly matched. There's just absolutely nothing between them. And that is why the order has stayed exactly as it is. This is where Andrade's car is, so this is where the yellow flags are.
And that might explain why they keep closing the gap to Dunner, about 8/10. But blimey, he isn't parked very well.
Yeah.
But they can't overtake there, so they're losing kind of the run out then onto Parabolica.
I tell you what, you'd almost want to stay in the car. That's a great view, isn't it?
Bit scary,
a whole view of Ascari. But yes, very dangerous. So there's going to be yellow flags out to the end. Rui out the car and away, but the car will stay there, and they will recover that during the next couple of laps. Okay, let's go back to the racing, because Nicolas Cruton looks like he is starting to look a little bit nervous. He's the one looking in his mirrors rather than looking forwards. And here comes Yiffier down the outside. Nicolas Cruton is just going to keep him there before turning in. So good driving. Nicolas Cruton holds off the championship leader for the time being.
Maldonado is currently ahead of Glenn Van Bella by 0.042 seconds as they go past our commentary box window. So I wonder who goes into turn 1 first. It's going to be Maldonado, who makes corner very slow on entry though. So that probably will allow Van Bella to come back on the attack. And is that Yiffier? He has got into second place for the second chicane. So Cruton down to third, Yi into second. He has a lap and 2 sectors to close down the 1 second lead Lucas Dunner has. It's taken him, what, 6 laps to close down kind of 4/10 over Cruton. So I don't think he'll be able to do this.
Well, he's got to break that toe first, isn't he? It's only the gap isn't that much as they go down towards Ascari. Nicolas Cruton will be doing everything he can. There you can see in the bottom right where the yellow flags are in this corner here. This is a replay of Cameron Daz versus Zane Maloney. So, contact there. Daz goes straight over. So this was after Daz had made the move. Right? That was Zane Maloney trying to fight back.
Yeah, and he did reclaim the position on track.
Oh, and there goes Cameron Daz across the grass in the end. So those two getting to know each other just a little bit.
And that is way over track limits by all three of the top three cars there as they enter what will be the final lap of the race. 1.06 seconds between the top two. A further 2 seconds between the next two cars as well. That's a personal best lap from Yiffy, but he's not going to be close enough to challenge Lucas Dunner into the first corner. We'll hopefully follow this battle all the way through to the end of the lap.
Let's find out. There's Andreas Essner. Yiffy closing in. It doesn't look like enough. He did just do a personal best. Now he's been released from Nicholas Cruton, and he's got his way past. He definitely has the pace in the latter stages of this race here, and he's doing everything he can. He's taken another 2/10 out of Dunner in the first sector.
And Alexander Bardignon's only about 6 seconds up the road now, and if he slows for the yellow flags, because he's not racing against anyone, he may become a bit of an issue for these two entering Parabolica.
Oh, that's yeah, that could get a bit tasty then as they come out of Lesmo 2 for the final time. Here we go. Here are your two leaders. Lucas Dunner seems to have enough in hand. The only thing I think that could cause any trouble is potentially Alexandre Bardignon up the road. Yiffy's getting close. He's certainly starting to look a little bit bigger in those wind mirrors for Lucas Dunner, who turns his way into Ascari for the final time. He should do enough, though. All Lucas Dunner really needs to do now, there's Bardignon. All Lucas Dunner needs to do is keep this thing on the road, keep it within track limits, and then he will have the race victory as Yiffy closes in just a little bit more. But Lucas Dunner comes round the final corner now, and it's going to be 2 victories for Lucas Dunner. Out of the final corner he comes, and 2 victories this weekend. Lucas Dunner heads to the line. Another victory here, his 3rd of the season. Lucas Dunner wins at Monza in race 3. It's another 1-2 for Crypto Power Racing Team. Yiffy finishing in 2nd place, and 3rd place, another podium, 4 in a row. Nicholas Cruton with a rookie win in the process.
And Yiffy took fastest lap on that last lap within the tow at Dunner, so that was obviously a huge benefit to him. Ayrton Simmons finished a great 5th. Zane Maloney 6th, but that penalty, unless it's already been applied, should drop him to 7th behind Cameron Dass. And the top two are driving alongside each other, probably celebrating a plan well executed after the qualifying troubles that the team has had over the last 2 days.
This was another move, wasn't it? Another move between Maloney. I think this was the first chicane, and then I think what followed this was the moment they had just after it, the 2nd chicane, where the pair of them had to go over the chicane. So Lucas Dunner from Yiffy, Cruton, Andreas Essner, a bit of a quiet race for him. He finished in 4th place. Then it was Simmons, Daz, Maloney with that penalty drops to 7th. Then it was Sebastian Essner, Glenn Van Berlo, Maldonado a very disappointing 10th, Cohen 11th, and then Yonon finishes, well, Bardignon finishing a lap down. Rui Andrade did not finish the race. What do you reckon happened to Maldonado in that race? Because just didn't really seem to have the pace, did he?
Potentially took too much out of his rubber. Looking at his lap times, he was set 1:47s, which was, 1 or 2 seconds slower than everyone else around him. So I expect it was probably a tyre issue. And once he's down to 9th or 10th place, maybe the fight to be back up front isn't as strong when you're in the final few laps.
And Sebastian Essner, I mean, he qualified on the 2nd row for all races, basically. We'll talk about that in a second. Here is your top 10. So Lucas Dunner winning by 7/10. Yiffy scoring the fastest lap on the last lap. Cruton rounds out the podium. The same top 3 in every single race this weekend, albeit the top 2 swapping places on a couple of occasions. Andreas Essner finishes just off the podium in 4th, his best result of the weekend. Ayrton Simmons' best result in the championship. Daz in 6th place, very consistent for him. Maloney 7th, Sebastian Essner 8th, Glenn Van Berlo 9th, Maldonado 10th, Cohen in 11th, really disappointing for him. Bardignon 12th and Rui Andrade. Here's what it does to the championship. Yiffy leading by 109 points now. Lucas Dunner moves up to 2nd ahead of Andreas Essner by 13 points. And this Nicholas Cruton up to 4th. Really good weekend for him. Maldonado, a mixed weekend for him. 5th place in the championship. Maloney recovers to 6th. Ayrton Simmons is up to 7th now. Cohen, Essner and Daz. What do you reckon has happened with Sebastian Essner? Because he's qualified on the 2nd row in every race pretty much, and he got lapped in the 1st race. He didn't finish the 2nd race, and he finishes 8th in this race.
mostly it's been contact, and also it's been lock-up, tyre lock-ups. I think we did see that big cloud of smoke about 6 laps from the end where Maldonado and Van Berlo were fighting behind, and that probably cost him a few seconds because he was pretty close to the Cameron Dassey Maloney battle at that point. Lucas Dunner celebrates his 3rd win of the season, his 3rd win in 5 races in Euroformula this year, and his 3rd Euroformula win of his career in his 3rd Euroformula season.
All the 3s
Yeah.
for Lucas Dunner. It's been fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that is why he's where he is in the championship already. His worst result's been 2nd, isn't it? It's not been a bad season so far for him at all, and he's got 4 more rounds of it. So you never know. You never know. Lucas Dunner, he could start going on the same kind of spree that we've seen that man going on, Yiffy, but Yiffy with over 100 points now clear. Brilliant driving from him as well, Nicholas Cruton, who we just saw go through. But Lucas Dunner taking the race win. Great stuff, and very shortly we're going to be hearing from him as well. So here's a recap of your top 3 then. 4 thirds in a row. Nicholas Cruton moving up the championship. He's becoming one of the ones to watch going forward. Wins the rookie class as well. Finishing in 2nd place, this is his worst result of the season, funnily enough. 2nd place for Yiffy, a win and 2 seconds for him. Not a bad weekend at all. Over 100 points clear in the championship now. But it's his 3rd win in 5 races so far this season. His 3rd ever in Euroformula Open, and he did it pretty convincingly as well. Lucas Dunner takes the win. Let's hear from him now.
Lucas Dunner, winner of race 3 at Monza. It seems you are getting used.
Yeah, incredible day today. I didn't expect to win the 2nd race, and now, you know, starting from P3 was actually a bit hard because at the start we couldn't get through, and it was a lot of fighting with Yiffy, and to be honest, was really fair fighting. And I really enjoyed it with him. But after some laps, he locked up his front, and this was the thing that gave me the pole position. And then from there on, I just pushed to the limit on every single corner. And at the end, I don't know, it was not very much the gap between us. So really happy with today now.
But you had pace and strategy, and it worked out.
To be honest, my strategy was a bit different. I wanted already to be P1 after the start, but yeah, this didn't work. So, you know, I just focused to stay on his ass throughout the whole race, and I waited for the right moment, and this was the moment with the lockup. So, yeah, just did it, and then from there on, it was just, you know, doing the consistency, and yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
And there you have it, Lucas Dunner wins again. Let's take a look back at how it all started then. Leading from pole position there was Yiffy. Nicholas Cruton getting a difficult start from the outside of the front row as they made their way down towards row number 1. We had the likes of Sebastian Essner trying to get his way into 3rd. Nicholas Cruton fighting with him out front. They were side by side, the 2 teammates, Yiffy and Lucas Dunner, both getting through safely in the end, as did the rest of the field. This was Zane Maloney, him going around the outside, a brilliant move around the outside at the Ascari chicane. There you see it, that's a brilliant move, isn't it, from Maloney. He would eventually pick up a penalty for track limits going down the start-finish straight. This was battles further back between the likes of Bardignon and Cameron Daz, Sebastian Essner, and Cameron Daz. That was the moment that Yiffy went straight over the chicane, locking up, going in towards turn number 1. There were similar moments for the likes of Rui Andrade, albeit at the 2nd chicane. Side by side, we were battling away for the race lead. This was sadly the moment that Rui Andrade would have to retire from the race, just a few laps from the end. Zane Maloney had his fair share of battles as well. Once again, Simmons going past, followed by Cameron Daz a couple laps later. He would attempt to fight back, but the pair would then go over the bollards on the inside of the second chicane. But out front, Lucas Dunner, his third win of the season. Yiffy Yi would finish in second place, Nicholas Cruton in third, and that moves Lucas Dunner up to second in the standings. So here we get them on to the podium then. Nicholas Cruton already on there, finishing in third, and top rookie driver as well. To the left of screen, Yiffy Yi, and now Lucas Dunner getting on to the top step. We await for the Austrian national anthem. We'll have a Crypto Tower Racing Team member, and then we will pause for the national anthem of Austria. Brilliant stuff from Lucas Dunner. Twice on the top step of the podium here at Monza. Brilliant racing all round, and you don't have to wait much longer because we are back next weekend for Euroformula Open for round number 5 at Mugello. Thank you very much for your company here at Monza this weekend.